It's Friday, September 25th, 2020. I'm Todd Dunn, and it is currently 10:20 in the morning, and I am once again in Bar Harbor. So today I'm going to show you what Bar Harbor looks like on this Saturday in late September, and I think we're going to make a bit of a loop through part of the national park as well. So let's take a look at Bar Harbor today. Here is the harbor. A little calmer than it was last time. The four-masted schooner Margaret Todd is just heading out with a load of tourists for a 2-hour cruise. And I am in Acadia Park, so it's relatively calm here. And town dock is relatively parked up this morning, more so than it was on Tuesday. And you can see looking to the northwest out of the harbor. We're pretty close to low tide. You can see a bit of the causeway out to Bar Island, which is this island here, which is part of Acadia National Park. And here we go, looking over toward Main Street. So I'm going to walk over to Main Street and we'll take a look. I only have 6 minutes here in downtown because that's all the money I had for the parking meter. Here we are on Main Street, looking down toward the water. And once again, everything's open. Not a lot of parking on Main Street, although I did find a spot down by the water. And a fair number of people walking around. Bear in mind that it is 10:20 in the morning on a Friday. When I came into town, I noticed that about half of the hotels had vacancy signs up, but I was pretty early. I was coming in before 9 o'clock for a doctor's appointment, and as a consequence, I think a lot of people hadn't checked out for the day, so there probably will be more vacancies later on in the day. So I'm going to walk up just a little bit before I head back to my car, because I don't want to get a parking ticket. Here's a sign you're going to see every half block or so in downtown Bar Harbor. It's not very crowded right now, but the sidewalks are narrow and it's impossible to maintain a decent distance from somebody if you're walking around. So I'm going to cross the street and head back down to my car, and then we'll head out of town. Here's something else you'll find in the town. They're serious about wearing a mask. So you can reach in and get a free mask, which I'm going to do because mine is getting a little bit tattered. This is the view up Cottage Street. Not a lot of people walking around, although there's a line of people waiting to get into a restaurant. But it is pretty well parked up until you get out there about a block and a half and you're out of the main tourist area. Well, here we go, driving out of Bar Harbor. We're going up Main Street through the main part of the business district, and we will go past the Village Green. And today I'm going out of town a different way. I'm going south out of town rather than west, which is the way I usually go, because my intent is to drive the Park Loop Road and maybe park at Jordan Pond House and take a look at Jordan Pond and some of the hills around there. So this is where I usually turn. We're just going to continue straight and exit Bar Harbor to the south. Now this way, past the main part of downtown, there are still a few more restaurants and a couple of hotels. But everything ends pretty quickly and we get into residential within about 3 blocks. And this is just about it as far as Bar Harbor goes. If you look ahead there, you can see that we're going to drive literally out of town in just about another 2 or 3 blocks. So if you're in Bar Harbor and want to drive the Park Loop Road, all you do is head away from the water on Main Street and just keep going. And you'll go out here a mile or so from downtown, and you will get to the entrance to the park to go on the park loop. Okay, we're going to go about a mile south of Bar Harbor here and go into the park at the Sieur de Monts entrance and head out on the park loop road. So I'm running a little low on camera battery, so I won't start filming till we get into the park. Here we go to the entrance, and whoa, uh-oh. Reservations required to go into the park at the Sand Beach entrance. I don't have one because I wasn't planning to go this way today. It was just a spur of the moment change. So I guess we won't be driving the park loop road because that is the entrance you have to go through to get to the park loop road. So I'm going to turn around and we will head south out of here through the village of Otter Creek. So I've now turned around and we're headed back to the main road. And instead of doing the park loop road, I'm going to drive Route 3 south, which will take us through the village of Otter Creek and into Seal Harbor. And since they're requiring reservations to do the park loop road, I think there's little point in trying to go into other parts of the park today because, as I said, I wasn't planning on this little side trip, and I did not know that reservations would be required. So I'll stop since I'm running low on battery until we get down to Otter Creek, and I'll show you what Otter Creek looks like. It's not much, as you'll see. Okay, I'm about 4.5 miles south of Bar Harbor on Route 3, and we are now coming into Otter Creek. This is just a small residential village. It's in the town of Mount Desert, and as you'll see, it's not very big as we drive through. There's not a lot here, a couple small restaurants, sort of corner store, and that's pretty much it. The only big reason for a lot of people to come down here is that just past Otter Creek proper is the Blackwoods campground, which is the largest campground in the national park. But as you can see, there's no traffic here today, and the main reason for that is that Blackwoods is closed this year. The park didn't open any of its campgrounds. So here we are, downtown Otter Creek. As I said, there's not a whole lot here, and the entrance to Blackwoods campground is right up here on the left. And these cars here are probably people that are walking in the campground. It's quite popular to walk in the campgrounds here, especially when they're closed, because they're actually quite peaceful. So we're through Otter Creek, and we'll continue this way for another couple miles, and we will drive into Seal Harbor. As we drive through this little wooded stretch here, you'll notice that the leaves on the trees are starting to change color. It's a little early this year because we had a cold snap last week, and it got down almost to freezing. So that is why we're starting to see a little color. We're a long way from peak though, and it's warm now. It's 65, so and it's not supposed to get much below 50 for the next week or so, so I doubt we're going to get a lot more change until we have another cold snap. As we approach Seal Harbor, this road gives some nice views up into the hills of the island. You can see them up there as we drop down a little and lose the view behind the trees. Speed limit just went down to 25, and right now I'm about 12 or 13 minutes from Bar Harbor, and we're just coming into Seal Harbor proper. This community doesn't have a lot for tourists. It's mostly residential and summer homes. And as you'll see, it's not very big. We're just about into downtown Seal Harbor. And we will be at the harbor in just a minute. Okay, this is downtown Seal Harbor. There are a couple small restaurants here, and that's it. As we go right up here and exit downtown Seal Harbor, and we're going to turn right and head over toward Northeast Harbor. We're looking out over Seal Harbor's harbor toward Sutton Island. And we were here on Tuesday at the beach right there when I came out of the park after attempting to go to Jordan Pond. Now, I'm not going to go over to Jordan Pond today. I think it's just a lost cause since the Park Loop Road is on reservation only. So that's it. I'm just about out of battery, so as we go through familiar territory from Tuesday's video, I'm going to end the video and say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing Bar Harbor today and discovering that here on September 25th, 2020, you need a reservation to drive the Park Loop Road. So if you're planning to come up here in the next week or so, particularly on the weekend, and you want to do the Park Loop Road, make sure that you make a reservation at recreation.gov. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click that notification bell.